Welcome everybody to KaPow Film Festival for the question and answer period of the premiere of the trailer, I guess we can say that, of the TV pilot Zodiac. Very pleased to have the filmmakers here. We have the creator and the actress Kaye Morris, who actually came with this crazy idea and actually got herself a part in the film. Then the writer Jack Skyler is the director, and he also wrote it. Welcome.
Hey.
I'm very happy to be here, and I'm glad you're showing our trailer, and I'm happy for your guys' input and feedback.
Awesome, thank you, Kaye. So, Kaye, you came with this great idea. Can you tell how the idea came to you and how you met Jack and decided to let him write it for you?
Yeah, I actually have worked with Jack on 3 or 4 other projects, and this was the most recent. So when I had the idea, immediately was like, I want Jack to do it and his partner Alex, and I definitely wanted them to write it and direct it and all that. But I was recovering from surgery actually, and I was feeling some stuff from the drugs, and I was thinking, I love astrology, I love Greek mythology. Why hasn't anyone made anything that has to do with those signs being people on Earth and having powers and magic? And that's pretty much everything I love, Harry Potter and just anything magic. So that's where I came up with the idea. And I was thinking, I'm like, well, we can use stones and we can have Greek gods. And that's when I pulled Jack into it. And he actually knew a lot more about Greek mythology than I thought. And it kind of worked out perfectly. If you want to continue, Jack.
Well, actually, it was kind of fun because actually one of the scenes in the film, I actually already had written. I had written it as a scene, which I didn't have a movie to go with. But I was like, this is a cool scene one time that popped in my head. And I just wrote that scene down and I stuck it in my, my idea bin. And it was just kind of funny how complementary the ideas were, that I was actually literally able to drop in stuff that I'd actually already written, which was kind of fun.
Can I ask what scene? I don't think I knew that.
The scene with the gods.
Oh, how cool.
Yep, that was already written. I mean, I changed a few things just to make it, make a couple wording things like that fit, but that scene already existed in my notes.
Since our KaPow audience has only seen the trailer, can you give us the elevator speech on what the movie's about?
You want to do that, Kaye, or do you want me to?
You can have the first stab. Go ahead.
All right. So I guess I would first just compare it to like what kind of thing it is. So for me, it's very American Gods, Heroes, that great old show Heroes, and throw in some Harry Potter. Basically, it's the story of gods meddling in the affairs on Earth, which they always did all throughout Greek mythology, but it's a lot more fun to have them in the modern world, still up to their old tricks and still kind of relatively innocuous behind the scenes, but it focuses on their effect on the humans, and what that elicits from the people that they, let's say, touch, in terms of all your stories. I think all of your famous fantasy stories have someone who's called, whether it's Bilbo Baggins or any of them. They receive this calling, and then it's how does that totally upset their lives. And I think that was a lot of fun to do that. And so right off the bat, I said, I want to see if we can make this the coming of age story for both a girl and a superhero at the same time.
Wow, that's quite a pitch.
Interesting, because it's 180 from my view of it, which is perfect because I love that aspect. But I also see, from I guess my character's point of view, she is a young girl. She was an orphan in a private school, and she's always gets made fun of, and she's doesn't always fit in, which I relate to heavily. I didn't love high school, and so she starts having visions and headaches and these weird spells. She starts seeing this girl, and all of a sudden she starts realizing, hey, I have powers, things are happening, people are saying things, I'm able to move things. And I don't know, it was a cool revelation to kind of see like her transition from this girl that no one really likes into a stronger person, and seeing who in her life actually, I guess people aren't who they think you are in life. So, and she starts getting powers, and you have to figure out why and what's happening, pretty much.
Well, So you guys had this great story that Kay came up with, and Jack, you wrote it. So you have a film, you have a screenplay. How do you go from that part of the story to actually being able to film it and casting? And can you just give us a quick synopsis of how that happened?
Do you want to start that, or should I, Kay?
I mean, yeah, I went straight to Jack and I was like, hey, is this possible? What do we need to do? Like, what kind of budget? Who can we hire? How long is this process? Because I have never done that side of it. I've only, acted. And so I went straight to him. So I guess he kind of did almost everything from casting to writing to everything. So I think it's your go right ahead.
So for me, one of the most important things about something like this is it is kind of it's a bit of a superhero film. It is a superhero film. So it needed special effects. It needed some big pizzazz. But so one of the things we did all the way through is we would work out, okay, if we go this route with this character, can we afford to do the special effects that this will need? And such as that. So we did a lot of work working out what could we do. And then we kind of moved forward and then looked at our other assets. Like one of the coolest things we did, we filmed at school called I think it's Rock Point. Yep, yeah, Rock Point. Yep. And so we filmed the school in Rock Point in Burlington, Vermont, which was just phenomenal. I mean, it is. You could literally film Harry Potter there. It's the picture of that super old brownstone. I think it literally was built in the 1850s. It's just a great combination of quaint, beautiful, charming, and creepy all at the same time, which is exactly what you need. And so that very much became part of the character of the story. We found actually conveniently right there was this phenomenal area that we used for the opening sequence where characters were traipsing through the wilderness, because we could go just a little ways back behind the place and find just a phenomenal big wilderness that opens up onto Lake Champlain. So we have drone shots that actually our opening sequence for the film is basically a camera coming down from space where it's looking at the stars. And I'm sitting right next to a clock that's dinging.
What time is it? What time is it?
So the time here would be 7:30. I'm thinking. Yep, 7:30. But anyway, so for me, it was always about it's always about when you're working on a budget, finding what you can do on your budget and have it look, awesome. And so one of the things I have to say is all our locations were absolutely phenomenal. Like everything from the scene, the opening sequence where we see the kids traipsing through the wilderness, and they walk up to a rock that's 80 feet above the water easily. And then we've got shots of just huge I actually went out and I timed it so that in our opening dialogue sequence there would be a huge ferry that's probably about, I don't know, 100 feet long that just drives by right through the dialogue sequence. And I just worked out the timing to make sure that we were shooting there at the right time for that. And so like for me, it's when you're, working on a budget, it's all about planning and finding the right opportunities and being flexible, because that opening sequence was supposed to be entirely set in the woods. And then I found that we were right on Lake Champlain. I was like, well, we have to use this. And that was so much better than just shooting in the woods the whole time. And then we went to a cabin. Since we're in Burlington, Vermont, we got beautiful sugar shacks. And it was supposed to be
what's a sugar shack?
Sugar shack is where you cook maple syrup, or I should say purified maple syrup.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, it's an actual shack that's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's
yep.
creepy shack.
And so we found this shack, and it still didn't look decrepit enough. And I talked to the owner, and he's like, well, I'm tearing it down. You can do whatever you want to it. So we beat it up real bad. And then it was our awesome old decrepit cabin in the mountains.
Wow.
The end of the trailer where she gets dragged.
Yeah. Talking about production value. So you got a train, you got a shed for free. I mean, look,
yep.
You really had to pull. we could learn some things from you, how to get every penny out of a budget possible for free.
Well, yeah, I've grown up, completely poor and not well connected, so I had to figure out how to do things myself.
Good man. Kaye, how was the acting experience for you as an actress? Because you remember you created this character,
Yeah.
now you get to play her. How was the whole part of the filming for you?
I know when we originally were thinking about it, it was actually a whole different character that I was going to play. As I said, the pilot's about astrology, so my character. Am I allowed to say this, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a Gemini, so like that's who I am. So I'm portraying. I actually am a Gemini in real life too, which is cool. But I was originally going to be Cancer. That was going to be the character, and so it was a 180 from what I thought I was going to play to what I ended up playing. But I actually related to her a lot, and just as I said, high school didn't love. She doesn't love it either. Kind of just getting picked on and trying to figure out who she is, and then on top of it, she gets powers, and then she's like, really, and people are telling her things are going to change, like, you don't have to worry, I'm going to take care of it, and it's just over her head. And so at the end, she kind of just like needs to like sit down and be like, okay, this is what's happening, I need to accept it. And then some bad stuff happens, I won't say what, but I heavily related to her and I really enjoyed playing her, so I hope you guys see that I related to her.
Right.
Well, and I also have to, you were saying, people tell her, that things will change, blah, blah, blah. I actually really love the scene. So Corbin Burnson is, and I'll give this slight thing away, but he's the god that's watching over her. So it was actually really fun to work with Corbin Burnson because, I've been a fan of his, well, for a long time. People are probably going to hate me for saying this, but Psych was one of my favorite characters he played. He was awesome in Psych. Yeah,
he was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a plethora of roles, and I don't want to reduce his overall characters to just Psych, but I loved him in Psych. He was phenomenal, and that's where I really like. I mean, obviously, I'd been watching him ever since Major League, but I fell in love with him in Psych, and so it was very fun to work with him here. And he had a lot of fun with the character as well, which I enjoyed. And actually, one of the things for me that really tells me about a scene is when I watch a scene, completely raw with no music, no nothing, and I'm like, I'm completely drawn in, even though I'm not even giving the audience anything that need any reason to be any of the fluff. You know what I'm saying? When you just see two people talking to each other and they make a whole scene with no fluff, and I'm like, that's cool. And they did that. So Kaye and Corbin really nailed that.
Awesome.
It was awesome working with him. He was a really cool guy, and he's so talented. So I was very fortunate.
When I saw him in the credits, they got Corbin. Wow, quite a coup there. So it must be a great project for him to be considering that. But congratulations on the casting part of that.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only part about we don't like it, we can't see the whole project, the whole pilot. If someone wanted to, if someone wanted to reach out to each one of you and figure out maybe the latest update on where the project's at, where Zodiac is at, how would they be able to get a contact with either one of you, for both of you?
So me, it would be Instagram. You can definitely follow me. I would update with anything Zodiac or anything that I'm working on. KL3 is mine, just like my name. But I would definitely post an update, and you can DM me and I'll answer any questions.
Awesome. Great. I want to know more about it. And Jack, how will we get all of you?
I do have a website for it, but I can't remember the link right now. So that's really sad. But anyways, you can always follow me on any of the main social media platforms. So my name is Jack Skyler, SKYYLER. And
two
I'm the only one in the world
right?
by that name. Yep, double I. I'm the only one in the world by that name, so it's easy to find me on any social media platform. Also, the Zodiac series does have a website. I can't remember if it's .com or .net. I was trying to look it up right now, but okay. I didn't get it typed in fast enough.
Let's try .com first. If not, then it's going to be .net. So, okay. I hope to see you guys back at KaPow 6 when this COVID cures a little bit. But thank you again for some of your project. Get both delightful. Thanks for joining us. And
thank you.
Thank you. It was great talking to you.